Hello and welcome to our next instalment of our Carers Week 2022 Virtual Hub. My name's Claire at Dundee Carers Centre, and today I'm talking with Brenda, who is a development worker for Community Companions, and Gill, who is a development worker for the Dial-Op service. Hello, how are you doing today?
Yeah, fine, good.
Good. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have got to offer through the services that you're working with at the moment. So I'm going to start with yourself first, Brenda, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, Brenda, could you just give me a bit more information about the service and what it involves within your role, please?
Yeah, I can. Community Companions actually started 7 years ago, and it's a local befriending service which is used throughout communities in Dundee. It's based on the befriending being matched on compatibility. So, a one to one befriending service where both the volunteer and the client are asked what their hobbies are, interests, previous experiences, and the dislikes as well. And they're matched on that. And that's kind of what the success of Community Companions is based on, as the success of the matches is down to the compatibility. An example I can give you would be a recent match was a lady who was a volunteer originally from Ireland, and the client service user holidayed in Ireland every year since
Oh,
she was a little girl. So initially and immediately they had that match and they're going strong. Some of the relationships have been together for 7 years. Some of the matches go on holidays together. So yeah, and it involves anyone can refer themselves, a relative or a GP can refer. Also, social work services can be referred. There is a waiting list that
okay.
is at the moment because there is quite a demand for it. But volunteers do come through quite regularly, and we're hoping that we can kind of go back to pre COVID,
Okay.
which was where we had summer events where all the service users and their volunteers would turn up for like summer parties, picnics, Christmas parties, and then just even the coffee and the chat. We are starting up the social cafes, which is run by Community Companions, which again, anyone could pop along. There will be the volunteers there as well, and just a coffee and a chat. It could be a theme. Again, it could be just a really good blather about what's going on in the world today, or it can be sort of like a talk, maybe regarding a summer theme or summer holidays,
Hmm.
things like that. And on top of that, Community Companions also run intergenerational befriending service, which is a school in Dundee, primary five school children. There's 27 of them
Oh, wow.
who regularly write to residents and care homes.
Oh, very good.
Um, so that's Community Companions.
Oh, that sounds great. And like you say, it's good to get back to a bit of that more face-to-face
Yes, yeah,
interactions again, isn't it? Because it's been quite
yeah,
difficult for people to do over the phone or online and stuff. So getting back to that again would be good for people.
yeah.
So what? Sorry.
Sorry, the reason that Dial-Up and Community Companions have actually kind of started to work together is that if one service isn't available because of waiting times, etc., the other service, in particular Jill service, Dial-Up,
All right.
can
Okay.
be used as a kind of a stopgap, and vice versa. When a friendship is built over a telephone conversation, Community Companion service, we
Uh
can
huh.
then support the match between them, whereas with dial up it is strictly over the phone. So it
Okay.
kind of one kind of complements and helps the other. And then if the relationship wants to carry on, it can still be supported. So that's the reason
Okay.
it's they're moving on to.
That sounds good because sometimes maybe that could be the first step for a lot of people, making
Yeah,
having that chat with somebody different, isn't it? And then moving on to
exactly.
something else. So
Yeah.
that's quite a
Uh-huh.
good way for some people to do that. And
Yeah.
what like I take it, is there a certain age limit for this, or who can
No.
get involved?
Um, any age for volunteers, obviously, over the age 18. As far as service users are concerned, everybody kind of considered, but the age group would genuinely are sort of like 55 and over. But if
Okay.
someone's sort of like younger, maybe in felt isolated and contacted us, we would still be able to support them.
Yeah.
It's just going on the average age group, that's the age group that we deal with,
Okay.
is 55 and up. But as I said, the service is open to younger people. So, yeah.
Good. And I suppose when it comes to the matching side of things, I take it you just take into account people's likes, dislikes, and
Yeah.
their interests and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and we've also what I did, well, maybe about 6 months ago, maybe longer. Um, I looked at the compatibility areas,
Mm-hmm.
and there's actually around about 37 compatibility areas that people have been matched on,
All
and
right.
it goes from bingo to watching the football match on the TV, meeting their coffee, walking the park. Knowledge of memories of Old Dundee.
Mm-hmm.
So there is actually an email version of the posters that were made generated from the compatibility,
Okay.
which yeah they've been kind of generated as well. It's just lets people see that there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
that people can have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes if you say to somebody, what's your hobbies and things like that, and they're like, well, but then we say, well, actually, I really enjoy looking at the local attractions in
Yeah.
Dundee, or I like going shopping. People don't realise that that is actually a hobby or
Mm-hmm.
an interest. So yeah, it's kind of to identify. Even some people just like to have some company when they're watching sport on the TV, or if it's a good old film on, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. They enjoy the company. So yeah.
That's good. That sounds good. And I know you said that there is a bit of waiting list just now, but if people were interested and again being part of this, how do they go about referring themselves? Is it
Well, they can get in contact either by emailing community companions at dvva.scot,
okay?
or myself, which is Brenda Douglas at dvva.scot, or they can phone the Dial-Up info line and ask for a referral to be either posted out to them or give an email address. And that number is 01382 305757.
Okay, that's great.
Or also they can contact DVA Direct, the number 10 building, the reception, and ask there.
Okay.
Again, it's 01382 305 700.
That's lovely. And what I'll do is we'll pop all these details in our comments chat below so people can get them if they
Brilliant.
miss it on the chat.
Okey-doke.
Well, that sounds great, Brendan. It sounds like a really good, positive way to go, especially at this time through Carers Week. We're obviously trying to identify new unpaid carers, and a lot of people might find themselves in quite isolated situation just now. So to be able to reach out and hopefully get involved in some form of companionship, like you say, it could be very little to very big. It would be amazing for some people just now. So yeah,
Yep.
it sounds like great work you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And like you say, it kind of fits in well with yourself, Jill, as well. Then, within your service at Dial-Op too, like Brenda says, the both services kind of go hand in hand. So welcome to yourself, Jill.
Hi,
Hiya.
thank you for having us along.
Oh, you're very welcome. So, Jill, do you want to give us a bit of an overview about Dial-Op then and your role within the service here as well, then, please?
Yep, so I'm the development worker for Dial-Op, and Dial-Op is a telephone-based service. We've been going about for about 9, 10 years now. We do an information line, which is your one-stop shop for any information on services, activities, even knitting patterns. You name it,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
find it. We've got our Blether Buddy service, which is our telephone befriending, and we've got our morning call, which is a morning welfare check that we do.
Okay.
It's all
Good.
telephone based, all remote, and it's always been remote. So it never, it saw an influx of referrals during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't change the way we worked. We were quite lucky that just everything continued the way it
That was
was.
good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
not a lot of change for people then who were getting that service to begin with.
Yeah.
Everything stayed the same. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other services for people that are actually stuck at home.
Yeah.
So the welfare check, it's used for a variety of reasons. It can provide respite for families because we do that morning call, so they don't have to get up early in the morning
No.
to check that their relatives had medication or had their breakfast or whatever reminders are required. And we do that, so it's a wee bit respite for them. And we can short-term or long-term things. So somebody can come online with their project for just a few weeks if the family's away on holiday. which
All
was
right, okay.
we used to have a regular that came in every time the family went away on holiday. She came back on our service,
Oh,
and we just did the welfare checks for her
oh, very
through the
good.
week. Yeah, so the welfare checks are Monday to Friday, but we're working on getting a weekend service. Blether Buddies is a 7-day a week. It's a one call. You get matched with a particular volunteer, very similar to Brenda's project, where it's likes and dislikes.
Okay.
You get matched with a volunteer and you get a weekly phone call. And that phone call can last anything from 20 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on what you've got to blether about, really.
Now I know about this one because through lockdown, my dad actually got access to this. And he his interest was football, so he got matched with a gentleman, and he loved getting that call on the Sunday afternoon, just having a blether about matches and kind of like what was happening in games and things. So yeah, it is a fantastic service. Yeah, because us as a family knew that my dad was getting that chat every Sunday afternoon. So knowing he was having a blether with somebody different was good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those services that has quite a big impact for just a little input.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Good. Sounds amazing. Sounds great, and a lot of different things that's going on as well with yourselves. Now, obviously, like Brenda's services, they're looking to get back into the community in that as well. Now, I know obviously Dial-Op is an online service and over the phone service, but do you operate at all within any localities or communities as well, Gill, or is it basically just over the phone? And
It's
I
just over
suppose,
the
yeah,
phone.
okay,
It's just over the phone. We're working hybrid at the moment, so we're sometimes in the office, sometimes at home.
okay,
But it's all telephone based. You'll occasionally see us popping up at fairs and things like
right,
that
yeah,
to speak to
just
people,
raising
just
that
that wee
awareness,
bit face to face.
yeah,
We
good,
used to do a weekly stall in the Wellgate Library, Central Library,
okay,
and it's something that we're looking at bringing back. Maybe not weekly, but
no,
doing a wee stall there every couple of weeks, just so that people can come and speak to us face to face.
yeah.
You know, if they've got queries, inquiries, or anything.
That's it. 'Cause like we say, people do like that kind of that chat one-to-one, don't they? Sometimes just to get a bit more
Yeah.
information, what it's about, how this has impact on me, blah blah blah. Yeah, and even family members for somebody else they're thinking of or who they're caring for that might think, well, this might be quite good for them. So what is it all about? Type of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, good. And if people, is it a referral service then? If people identify somebody or
It's
could you just
anybody
do
can
the
refer
same?
in.
Yeah.
So it's self-referral, friends,
Okay.
family organisations. We get referrals from a wide range of people,
Okay.
and all it takes is a quick phone call, and we can sort out a referral, or we can email out referral forms.
Okay, that's good. And are you in the same position as Brenda, where you rely on a lot of volunteers to do this as well then?
Yeah. Yep.
Jill, yeah.
Yeah. The Blether Buddies service at the moment's probably got about a 3 to 4 month waiting
Oh,
list,
right,
but
okay.
it's quite a bit shorter than most of the befriending projects.
Okay.
Our morning call service we can get set up in a week.
Okay.
So that tends to be used as an interim,
Okay.
especially if people are unsure about joining befriending services.
Mm-hmm.
The morning call is a really good way of just getting them to interact that little bit and building their confidence to maybe come through our Blether Buddies. And to be honest, we've had people come through morning call Blether Buddies and they're now volunteering because they've just built their confidence up through the service. And we're hoping to have sort of a pathway that people can get on within the social isolation group, and they can be a service user and then maybe build the confidence up to getting out and about with community companions, and then hopefully going on to volunteer themselves.
Good. And a lot of people do like that kind of fact where they have had that so much support and so much from that service. They do like to give it back at some point, don't they? So yeah, it's quite rewarding, isn't it? Yeah, good.
Yep. And they know the value of it. So it makes such a difference. Yeah.
Good. Well, that sounds great. It sounds such good services happening, obviously within the city, and it'll be good to see, obviously, your community companion stuff coming back into the localities and communities again, Brenda, and hopefully the volunteer uptake is good for you guys to keep delivering such a fantastic service.
Brilliant, thank you.
No, thank you very much. And like I said, if anybody does have any questions for Brenda or Gill today, please pop them in the comment section below, or you could direct message us and we'll get the questions over to Brenda or Gill and somebody will get back to you with an answer. Or all the contact details are below too. So if you'd know of anybody who could who would like to take up one of these services, who would benefit from being part of something, please get in touch, even for more information or to put in a referral. But Brenda and Gill, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, to mark Carers Week 2022.
Thanks for having us.
And all the best with your projects in the future.